Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A special welcome to all the old Bromsgrovians and the friends of the school, and of course a welcome to Dame Julia. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us this evening. Before I do introduce Dame Julia, which is not an easy task for reasons that will become apparent, I want to extend our thanks to Dick Note, the chairman of the foundation, for providing us with this absolutely wonderful venue. Dick, thank you very much. I'm humbled and intimidated all at the same time. What a room. Before I introduce Dame Julia, I have craved her indulgence because we have a number of OBs who haven't been back to the school for a while. Just for a couple of minutes to explain where Bromsgrove is now, and then I'll move on. The school is a very different school to that which many of you will remember, not in terms of its values or its aspirations, but in terms of its physicality. It may shock many of you to know there are now 1,600 people at Bromsgrove School UK. It's one of the largest independent schools in Britain. It may also shock you to know that on the way here I heard that Bromsgrove was underwater, it was flooded, that the school had closed. That's not a flippant comment because of course we have a Bromsgrove school in Thailand as well. That's how passionate we are about spreading the message. That is a serious note because they have very serious issues in Thailand. But the point I'm making here is we are so passionate about what we do now that this is a global ambition. It isn't merely local. It's an academic school. We make no bones about that. It is academic. We drive people. We want people to do well. We want them to aspire. They do well. They do exceptionally well. I don't believe in league tables, so I'm not going to quote them, but suffice to say that any way you measure it, Bromsgrove is now one of the top 10 co-ed boarding and day schools in the United Kingdom. And that's quite a feat. We've come a long, long journey. I always thank at this stage the people who came before me, it's not a cliche standing on the shoulders of giants, but it's so true. It's overused, but it is so true. Without the hard work done by many people in this room, Bromsgrove could not be today where it is. So I thank you. I thank you wholeheartedly for all of that. Where are we now? Where are we going? We'll come on to the foundation in a second because that's why we're here. Physically, well, if you've been to the school recently, you'll understand. I mean, I feel like Donald Trump at the moment. There's so much going on coming out the ground. We've actually got 5 whopping buildings going up at the same time, including what I suspect is the largest indoor space in Worcestershire, a sports arena. I've always said we should have a good school in a pigsty. Mercifully at Bromsgrove we never have to prove that point, and we are enhancing the facilities to a degree that I suspect few other schools in Britain could equal. Now that sounds like bragging, and I don't mean it to be, because I want to get on to the serious point in a second. But the fact is, the physicality of the school, the geography of the school, that tangible feeling when you come in has changed so much. The facilities are truly outstanding and getting better all the time. There are still lacunae, we've still got to do a number of things to make this a truly great campus, but we're getting closer and closer by the minute. We have pupils from, wait for it, 40 different nations at Bromsgrove. There are boarding schools in this country that tried terribly hard to be that Victorian palace on the hill. Many, many years ago, we gave that up as a dreadful idea for the 21st century. From every continent bar Antarctica, we have representation of Bromsgrove. We're hugely proud of that. 300 internationals out of the 1,600 pupils in the school. I don't believe there is a more honest, open, friendly, compassionate and genuinely frank school than Bromsgrove. We never walk with our noses up in the air. We don't do secret dining societies. There's no strange language you have to learn to come. You come, you work hard, you smile, you do well, you aspire, you make a difference for the better when you leave. And that's what Bromsgrove School is about. And I think virtually all of our pupils buy into that message. And again, the pupil body has been truly wonderful. As we look forward to the future, well, goodness me, yes, there will be more buildings, I'm afraid, Ursa, but so much more than that. There is the foundation. There is the fact, and I guess the thing I am singly most proud of recently at Bromsgrove, and I hate to quote money at this point, but it's an interesting one. This year, for the first time ever, Bromsgrove School provided over £1 million in bursaries. Over £1 million, free places, supported places, children who could not otherwise access the aspirational education Bromsgrove provides. And that's really where I want to dwell just for a second, because that's what this is all about in the end. I have no time whatsoever for any school that indulges in social elitism, whatsoever. I would resign tomorrow if I ever thought that was the way Bromsgrove was going. I do have time for schools that indulge in a meritocracy, but a meritocracy based on people who want to make a difference to the better, who are going to work hard. And our ambition, of course, is that Bromsgrove School will become a needs-blind school. In other words, it doesn't matter what family you come from. If you want to make a difference for the better, come to Bromsgrove and we will provide the support whereby you can do just that. Now, obviously, that dream is decades away. I'll probably be long underground before we ever see this come to fruition. But we've started, and we've had some wonderful speakers. The first two inaugural lectures were truly magnificent, Sir David Arculus and, of course, Michael Heseltine, which leads me to Dame Julia. Dame Julia Cleverden, DCBO, CBE. So let's start at the end. In 1996, Dame Julia was made Commander of the Order of the British Empire. In 2002, she was made Commander of the Royal Victorian Order, and in 2008 she received an upgrade. She became Dame Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. Why? What did she do? Well, the thing that amazes me most about Dame Julia is a thing that doesn't really appear on any of her resumes on the internet. Anyone who can survive British Leyland industrial relations in 1972. See, it's interesting, my students are politely laughing now, they have no idea what I'm talking about. As a young child, I remember British Leyland in 1972, and Dame Julia really did work in industrial relations. Dame Julia, that, above anything else you've achieved in my book, is a win. Well done. She then became Director of Education and Inner City Division of the Industrial Society. She was then appointed Chief Executive for Prince Charles Charity Business in the Community. That was in 1992. Her career there was astonishingly successful. Forgive all the lacunae, Dame Julia, we just haven't time. It was an amazing career. Suffice to say that the Times named her as one of the 50 most influential women in Britain. Since March 2008, Dame Julia has served as Vice President of Business in the Community. But even then, we're just scratching the surface, because I could produce a list as long as this room about what Dame Julia has achieved and where she's served. But the point is, she's made a difference. She's made a difference to boardroom behaviour in this country. She's made a difference in the attitude of business to education, to deprivation, to climate change, to collaboration. She's made a difference to women. She's encouraged them to develop careers, their work-life balance, and she's made a difference to young people, especially young people who desperately need higher levels of aspiration and attainment. So to put it very simply, Dame Julia, and forgive this, Dame Julia, you set out to do some good in this world. She's put community before self, she's put service, compassion, responsibility back on the business agenda, and she's made our society one in which everybody ought to feel included and able to fulfil their potential. And if that sounds vague and a little bit airy, just wait what you're about to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, Dame Julia Cleverden.